From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Taylor 500 Help, wishing all of their employees and everyone who called Taylor for help this year a happy new year 2020. Here we are. Taylor 500 Help has been in business since 1947, and it was a little bit nippy yesterday. I think the high was 17 degrees. So if your furnace went out, the first number that you should call, Taylor 500 Help. They do it all. Heating, air conditioning, duct cleaning. They are the professionals that make you warm and cozy in your house. So make Taylor your furnace repair shop and your one-stop shop for water heaters with Bradford White water heaters. And if you're looking for a job, home energy techs, HVAC technicians, plumbers, whatever it be, Taylor Heating and Plumbing wants you to call them. Taylor 500 Help since 1947. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. My friends, Kimberly and Justin up there in Webster at Precision Lawn and Garden, want to make sure that you're ready for all the winter weather that we're undoubtedly going to get in January and February. They're at 195 North Avenue in Webster since 1969, providing Rochester and surrounding area sales, service, and parts. We're talking snow blowers. They have big ones. They have small ones. They've got chainsaws. They've got blowers. They've got lawnmowers on sale. They have all your makes and models that you have come to love. It's Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster, 195 North Avenue in Webster. Make sure you tell Kimberly and Justin that we sent you here at the We the People Podcast Network.com. And Express Sealers. He does more than seal driveways. Brian, of course, plows you out when you need it in the dead of winter. Express Sealers, 645-2010. If you're looking for a great snow removal service for your business or your home, call Brian at Express Sealers, 645-2010. And of course, he deals with everyone on the east side. We're talking Ontario, Williamson, Webster, Penfield, Irondequoit. Express Sealers, 645-2010. And please support our advertisers because they support us here at the We the People Podcast Network.com.
.com. We're back.
Hi.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in sunny 34-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to 2022.
2022.
We made it.
Woo!
Who knew? Here she is. It's Kimberly Ray.
Hey, Kimberly's Revolution. I was in bed by 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve. I am one hell
I made it.
of a party animal. Whoop. I know. In bed by like 10 o'clock. That's the kind of girl I am. I am a real live party pooper.
Few shots of Fireball got me to midnight.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that would have put me right on the toilet. But we don't want to talk about those things. Hey, I'm Kimberly. It is Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network.com, which we just want to make this promise that by March or April, we're going to have that thing humming.
That thing?
Like a well-oiled machine. The website of
that thing.
We the People Podcast Network.
I didn't know it wasn't.
We're going to make sure that thing is well, with content and everything. And
sure.
We're kind of busy,
It's paid for.
Yeah, it is. Might as well use it.
Right.
Break it if we can. So yeah, We the People Podcast Network.com. Anyway, welcome to 2022. As I said, I am Kimberly, and sitting across from me is just Tom. He is
still
the
here.
Owner of the brokerage company where we operate. Of course,
right.
Revere Realty.
That's one of the unknown sponsors of this program.
We are right here in the building of Revere Realty.
Are we going to talk real estate today?
We are going to talk a little real estate today.
Excited.
On two fronts. One, a great thing I saw in a house, which was so retro, so cool, that I would want one in my house if I could put one in.
So you're talking about a hot tub in the bathroom?
Yes, which I have one of those. Got to get rid of those. They're dated. And also Austin joining us back from the COVID. That is why we didn't do shows. There he is. Where's Austin? You can't see him because his whole body is in a mask. His whole body is masked up. He's like a mummy. He's like the masked mummy. That should be like a show. They should do that. But yeah, he's not even really breathing. He's got his two little nostrils, and then that's it. The rest of him is just wrapped up like a.
I have a hole in my bubble so I can put my arm out.
And I don't mean to offend you over there, but this one was vaxxed and boosted. Am I correct?
No,
Not
I was
boosted.
not boosted.
Okay, so
that's,
vaxxed.
and that's why I caught it. That's
You know
it.
those-
That's it. I didn't get my
That's it.
booster.
That is exactly why you caught it. You weren't
Right.
boosted.
Yep, that's it. You got me.
That's the reason.
Yep. Actually, I blame Tom.
It's all
Might as
Tom's
well.
fault.
He showed up here to tell us he was sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
You
like
could
a
have called in, Tom.
Okay, we didn't have COVID, but anyway,
I wasn't
don't know
sick.
that.
I was just a little woozy.
the
Uh-huh.
CDC has changed those guidelines, and we'll get to those. They make zero sense at all. You know, the whole thing makes zero sense, and we'll talk a little bit about that. The name of the show today is "Oh Buoy," as in "Oh boy, buoy." And
What?
there's a reason for that, because people are out doing stupid and insane things every single day, including us.
Stupid is, stupid does.
We do stupid and insane things. And someone, you've been to Key West? Your brother lives there, right?
I have been there many times.
Yeah.
Love Key West.
I got married to my second husband in Key West, and it was, oh my goodness, coming up on 13 years.
Congratulations.
Time flies when you're having so much fun.
Sure it does.
How many years you been married?
Once you get past 30,
It
it's
doesn't
just
really
a little,
matter.
it
Doesn't-
is what it is.
Doesn't really matter. Everyone I know that has COVID right now is vaxxed and boosted. Yeah, those things don't help you. Beth, hey, happy New Year, Beth and family. I loved seeing all the pictures of little Bryce on Christmas Day. He's just cute as a button. I had COVID. I did see that Beth had COVID on Christmas week, vaccinated, not boosted. My husband as well. Bryce not vaccinated and had COVID, very mild symptoms. You know what that's called?
Cold.
It's called a cold, and we all get them. Someone said vaccinated and had COVID. Yeah, those, man, aren't you glad you lined up to get that shot of whatever, God knows what they put in your arm? I just, it doesn't work. So, you know, why waste your time? I thankfully, knock on wood,
Okay.
have not been ill this year.
Well, it's
and
only been 4 days or 5 days.
Well, you know, I haven't. I mean, I had like a kind of a cold. Last Christmas, but that's been it. So not
All right.
vaxxed, not vaxxed here. So yeah, Oh Buoy is the name of the show, and I say that because if you've been to Key West and you have been down to
The southernmost point.
take part in all the fun activities, you know that along with the Hemingway Cat House, you have to go, and that's not like a whorehouse, guys. It's where he has
Although
all
they
those.
have those.
He has the cats with the 6 toes, and they're running around. Not his cats, but all the ancestors of the cats are there, and there's just cats walking everywhere.
Lots of cats.
Have you been to Hemingway's
yeah.
cat house?
I've seen it.
Again,
yes.
not a whorehouse, but an actual house where Hemingway did all his work and lived, and he loved cats. So
And
you
lots of chickens.
you-
and
you ha-
roosters.
They're all over the streets.
Chickens everywhere.
They're crazy. It's the wildest thing. So someone decided to set fire to a Christmas tree that was in front of the buoy, which is a giant, massive buoy at the southernmost point. And there's a sign there that says 90 miles to Cuba.
Right.
Can we see the picture of the buoy? Austin didn't know what this was. I said, it's the buoy in Key West, and you can see how it's burnt. That was taken the night that an idiot decided to set fire to the buoy. And I will just let you know that he is an individual that has had multiple run-ins with police. Shocking. And he was released without bail from his last criminal endeavor. Again, shocking. So he's out on the street seeing what kind of damage he could do. And thankfully, the damage wasn't to another human being, but only to a main tourist attraction in Key West. He decided to light up his pyro skills and set that and the Christmas tree on fire. Now he's being held until they, I guess, decide to release him the next time, because that is the Democrat agenda. Release all criminals from wherever they might be incarcerated. So set fire. Hopefully they'll be able to fix that.
I'm surprised that's not a bigger deal. You know, they blew up or lit the Fox Christmas tree on fire in New York City.
It was one of the last shows that we did was when it was set on
and
fire.
they celebrated that, right? But
Yeah.
you would think in Key West that they would, wanted to go after this guy for the
Someone should
southernmost
just
point buoy.
beat him with a rum bottle. They have a lot of those in Key West, those rum bottles, right?
Yes.
Just beat the hell out of him. And I'm not a violent woman. I'm just saying there has to be some kind of retribution for such idiotic actions. Kathy says, I'm in Key West until April. And you didn't invite us. You didn't make a call, Kathy, to say, hey, Kimberly, would you like to come? I mean, not that I would, but the invite would be nice.
Apparently, Kathy has a lot more money than we do.
She says, I am in Key West until April. It's Taco Tuesday at Lucy's tonight.
All right.
I'm not sure what Lucy's is, but Chloe was 9 years old when my husband and I got married, or maybe 10. I forget. So we didn't really bar hop at the time. It was just the three of us. We went down. We got married on Smathers Beach. We had a couple of days. We did one of those catamaran sundown cruises. That was kind of fun. But really, that's, Key West sounds kind of good right now. Yesterday, it got to 17. So, Kathy, you're in the right spot.
And if you happen to see me walking around, that's actually Big Brother Jeff. So say hi to him.
He looks just like you, sort of. And he's lived down there for how many years?
Oh, I don't know, 20 or so.
20? Wow.
Yeah, he got into his van and drove around the country. And the reason why him and his bride, or so on bride, or whatever she is, the reason they stopped,
his live-in lover
is they ran out of road. There was nothing left to go.
Now just water, start swimming.
So they got to Key West and said, I guess this is it. We have no more road to drive.
And it seemed like as good a place as any, just
20
to
years
stop,
later,
right?
Magic.
I kind of view Key West not in really the same way I do New Orleans, but I think if I lived there, my liver would have given out long ago. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, there's such a propensity for debauchery every single day that you live there in Key West or New Orleans. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to get in trouble.
Yeah, you get a lot of exercise walking around down there, though. So
and
maybe
drinking.
it burns off the alcohol.
You think?
Yeah, a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. Well, it's easy to walk around in Key West, right?
Mhm.
It's easy to walk around in New Orleans if you're downtown New Orleans, which, Mardi Gras is coming up. I can't believe it's 2022 already. Over the Christmas break, everyone was healthy in my house. We had a great Christmas. Lois is doing great. Took her to the casino.
How much did she win this time?
She didn't. She ended up losing a couple hundred, and that was on New Year's Eve day at Batavia Downs. So we went out there early, got there at about noon. She lost a couple of hundred.
Isn't Finger Lakes her hot spot?
Finger Lakes is her hot spot. We went out there on a Thursday before Christmas, and she won $1,500. So now she just wants to go to Finger Lakes because she thinks that's where the mojo is at.
I don't blame her.
And I got news for you. The mojo is nowhere. Powerball is huge. We bought tickets. We did not win. You didn't win. Austin, do you buy Powerball tickets?
I'm not in it to win it.
I might, now that it's over 500 million. That's usually
that's when you start?
Oh, you mean it's right now?
It's like 531 million because no one's won in like 3 or 4 months. So I'm thinking I could possibly live on that. I mean,
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
If I really budgeted
right
the way I should budget. Pretty haircut. Thank you. I did kind of go a little redder than I normally go. So this is more my natural color that I grew up with. So just letting you know, but it'll fade and the gray will come back and I'll be back to square one.
Yep.
Over the holidays, we had a little situation. It was a very tragic situation for us. And I know some of you guys won't really get it. And I understand. I'm a cat person.
Mm-hmm.
All of our animals are rescue animals. I always say, don't shop, adopt. That's me. I don't judge people who do buy their animals. I mean, it's if you go out and spend, I don't know, $500, $800, $1,000 on your animal, I don't judge because I'm just glad that that animal has a great home.
Papillons ain't cheap.
In 2014, we adopted a cat that had been in a hoarding situation out in Clarendon, where all of these Persians had been kept in a double wide trailer, stacked in cages on top of each other. And basically, the females were just there to be a breeding source. And there were some of the Persians that were in horrible condition. I think out of the 32 Persians that they found in this trailer in Clarendon, and I'm not kidding you, 29 of them lived. A couple of the others had to be put down because they were in such bad condition. One of them that made it out alive was a white Persian, and I'll show you a picture of her. There she is.
Aww.
Marilyn Monroe. And she didn't look that pretty when I first got her. I mean, obviously, you know, she was not in great shape. Health-wise, she was okay, but she just looked like she'd been living in a cage.
So you thought she was a tan cat?
Her face. I mean, we really worked on washing her face a lot, and with non-toxic, substances to get the stains off. And it took a long time. And it took a long time for her hair to grow back because it was so matted. They just had to shave her down, which I always did once a year in July. And so Marilyn Monroe, it was like she had a cold. Her eyes were really watering and such like that. She'd had it in November and we got her a shot. And then I'd been cleaning her eyes with warm water. And the day after Christmas at 5:00 in the morning.
Oh, wait a minute. She had a shot? What kind of shot did she get?
For a respiratory condition.
Oh, okay. You didn't give her the COVID
vaccine. It was before my birthday. So it was like the first week in November. She just wasn't feeling well. So anyway, we woke up on the day after Christmas on that Sunday morning at 5:00, like we always do, to let the dogs out. And I feed the cats and my husband feeds the dogs and we all go back to bed. And I couldn't find Marilyn to feed her. And usually she comes running and she was collapsed in the litter box. And I freaked out, as you can imagine. She was non-responsive. She had her eyes open. She was panting with her mouth open. But I mean, so we rushed her to the animal emergency in Henrietta. And they did a great job, but she could not be saved. And so I lost my Marilyn.
Aww,
so anyway.
Sorry.
It took me
they are our family members.
So hard. She was a special cat. She met me at the door like a dog. She followed me around the house.
Yeah.
She was I don't even get upset when humans close to me pass away, but that cat was special. There will be no other cat like her. She was an amazing animal and we gave her a home for, several years and then we'll meet again one of these days.
So next week we're getting another cat.
No,
no.
It's funny because I'd only had Mercy for like a month and a half. Thank you. I know we loved Marilyn. She was my good mare. So anyway, a lot of stuff to get to today. You had a good Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
I know you took your dad to the casino.
Yeah.
Did he win money?
Kind of funny story because we were getting ready to leave. Was there with my son, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And we turned around and he's gone. Well, you don't lose an 84-year-old man in a walker, but somehow we managed to. And we went back to.
Isn't it funny how fast they move in the casino when they're having fun? My mom's the same way. She can barely get down the hallway, but man, when she gets out of that casino, you look around, she's gone.
So we went back to the blackjack table. He found him there. After we broke even, we played there for a little while and broke even. So I was tickled with that.
Yeah.
At $25 a hand.
No,
just to break even. I'm happy with that.
That would make me nervous.
And so all of a sudden he gets on a heater, right? And the dealer's talking, well, if you win 3 hands in a row in blackjack, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, he probably won 10 out of 13 hands.
Wow.
Oh, he won like $500 in like 15 minutes.
Daddy's buying.
And then I said, it's time to go, Dad.
Yeah, you got to cash out.
Because if you sit here anymore, it's going to go back the other way.
It's going to go back. Absolutely.
So it worked out good for him. He said that's the first time in a while that he's won. So
well, that's good. So
congratulations, Dad. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. $25 a hand. I don't think so. Tim. I play the penny slots. That's as good as I get.
It does go fast if it's not working well.
Okay. Stryker says they lost their cat Ziggy, I think, over the holidays. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes.
I mean, it's honestly,
they're our family members.
I was inconsolable, honestly. And you know me, I'm pretty hardcore and emotionless the majority of the time. That cat killed me. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
oof.
Felt
Anyway.
the same way with ours.
So I have to say, Kenny, I got to give a shout out to Kenny. He is my newest client. We looked at 4 or 5 houses. We put an offer in for Kenny and he won the offer. So my newest client, after looking at 4 or 5 houses, I still have other clients out there that I'm working with.
Ka-ching.
That I've
Thanks,
yet
Kenny.
to find something. So anyway, Kenny is one of those guys
Time to go get a boat.
that we looked at a couple. We put an offer in on 2. One we got, one we did not get. But as we were looking for the houses, some of these were like houses built in, well, the majority, with the exception of one, were houses that were built in the 60s. And sometimes you get some quirky little things in houses that were built in the 50s and 60s, and even before that. But we were looking at this house in Gates that was on the market. He did not put an offer in on this one. It needed too much work. So we're in the kitchen. We're seeing all these intercoms throughout the house. It was a ranch, kind of a large ranch. And we walk into the dining room, and I think you have the picture, and we didn't know what this was. There was like a radio and an intercom above. You see the radio. And then we had this thing where you pull down the handle, and we didn't know what it was like, just a hole in the wall where they put stuff, maybe. Nope. You pull down the handle, it's a record player. What in the holy hell is that? In a wall of a dining room in a Gates house that was built in 1960.
It's a stereo.
They were cool cats, right? I thought that was kind of cool. Every now and then you find little quirky things in houses, and that's what I love about houses. They all tell a story that you can kind of imagine in your own brain, right? And that kitchen and dining room probably saw some good times. I'm thinking a lot of Sunday dinners. They probably had the Italian music on.
A little bit of vino.
Voila. I mean, I don't know what Italians would listen to on Sunday for Sunday dinner, but I'm thinking in my mind,
a lot of sauce and meatballs.
And they probably clear away the dining room table on Fridays and Saturday nights and have card games and dance and drink, like, I don't know, those 50s and 60s drinks, martinis.
And everybody smoked.
And everybody smoked.
Everybody smoked.
Yes, even if you were pregnant. Our moms were smoking.
I know.
We all turned out okay.
I remember Christmas at my grandmother's house. You couldn't even see in there. It was so much smoke.
Right. And if you dared complain, well, get outside. If you complained, get outside. That's what,
It's amazing.
But I thought that was kind of cool. And I had a video, and I took the video and put it up on my Facebook page. So if you've not seen it, but I had to take a picture of that because I've never been to a house where there was a pull down record player in the wall.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
And I thought that was kind of a cool deal. I think I even sent the picture.
1950s and 1960s built houses before about 1967. Probably the best built house of the generation.
Yeah.
They were mostly immigrants from Europe that built them with their, they didn't have before subdivisions were real
right. And
popular.
Everything looked the same.
Yeah, they were all custom built. So there's a custom built house that the owner had that done.
Yeah. Linda says they were probably drinking highballs.
Yeah.
whatever they were drinking, whatever made them happy. But I thought I would share that with you because I thought it was kind of cool. The thing, so I've been working with Kenny for just a couple of weeks, and his offer got accepted, and we got him into a house, and it's a fantastic house in Greece. I'm so excited for him. It's going to make lifelong memories with his kids and his friends and his family, and I'm excited for Kenny. We did have one little glitch where we did put an offer in on one house, and we were the highest offer, but the agent involved had called to tell me that since Kenny's mortgage was through the VA, that he thought VA loans were sketchy, and he wasn't going to consider my client's offer. And as you can imagine,
somebody lost it.
Angry Kimberly.
Shocker.
Can't control her mouth, Kimberly. Kimberly,
Shocker.
who can never control her emotions well, my dad was a Marine. The only reason our family was able to buy a house in 1971, my family had rented up until 1971, the year I started kindergarten. The only reason we were able to afford a house was because my dad was a Korean War vet
Mhm.
and was able to get a mortgage through the VA. He had a VA loan. And we were able to get our first house because they didn't have any money. They had 3 kids. My mom worked as a bank teller and my dad worked at the Ford Motor Company. And my dad fought for his country in Korea. And it really pissed me off when this particular agent said, I view some VA loans as sketchy. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. You're not discriminating against a vet, are you? The vets that went out and fought for this country while you're doing God knows what. I don't know. Obviously not fighting for your country, but this guy served his country. These men and women that are offered the VA loans because they serve their country, they are entitled to a VA loan, and you should not discriminate.
What type of market do we have right now?
It's a crazy market.
Do we have
a very tight
do
market.
we have a market that's to the advantage of the seller,
Of course.
or do we have a market that's to the advantage of the buyer?
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course. It's
So
the
when-
advantage of the seller. I
Right.
understand. I understand.
So if the seller has the advantage, the problem is not the fact that this person is a veteran.
Mhm.
The problem is the fact that the VA loan program has much more red tape, a lot more hoops to jump
A
through.
loan's a loan is a loan.
No, not necessarily.
No.
If you would look at the amount of FHA loans and VA loans that don't go through, where a conventional loan or a more standard type loan practice is going to be a
Mhm.
better chance that it's going to get to the finish line and close. I think I'm okay with that.
It irritated me.
I know, but
It irritated it. It made me angry.
should have offered more money.
Why should he have to? He fought for this country. Isn't that money enough? It's money with your life.
Well.
Isn't it money enough?
Financing is part of the process.
But and I would have understood that. Listen, we had the highest offer, but he said he was going with a different offer because we had the VA loan. And I'm thinking, why does it matter? I mean, so I could understand if it was a cash offer because cash is king, right? Cash is always going to win over every mortgage that you put forward, of course,
Sure.
right? Without
Mhm.
a doubt. Someone brings in cash to, we're not even having the conversation. If you have to get a mortgage, this person has cash, but this person didn't have cash. This person that had the other loan was conventional, was less than ours, but the reason given was because VA loans are not sketchy. If you go through a company that has been in business for a very long time, like
By percentage,
my client's
by
company.
percentage, there's a better chance that a qualified conventional mortgage will get to the finish line. And that's the bottom line. And if the seller's making the decision, they don't want to have to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
If it's a couple $1,000s, hey, we know that this guy's good for the money. We know that it's going to close.
Yeah.
We'll take the one that's a guarantee. The VA one,
Nothing is a guarantee though. You can
more-
have a conventional loan. fall
more
through,
of a
course.
guarantee.
But anyway, I was angry and I basically said something to the effect of, you don't know what you're talking about. And the company has been in business for 30 years that this guy is going through. I was very polite in my anger though. I think sometimes that people should do their homework instead of jumping to conclusions that they think that VA loans are sketchy, because they are not. And these men
That's a
and
good
women,
point.
these men and women serve their country and they deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Instead of just
Writing it off
writing
completely.
off an FHA or a
Right.
VA mortgage,
Right.
Look at the buyer and look at their credit and look at a lot of other issues
I was like,
before you make that decision.
I was going to tear him up. I was going to, I was going to get
Yeah.
him. Kristen says we have bought 6 houses with the VA loan. Good for you. We had the same situation happen with the house in Farmington. You have agents out there that aren't well-versed and don't know what they're really doing. Unfortunately, I've only been in this a year and a half,
Mhm.
and I certainly don't know what I'm doing the majority of the time. I just kind
Well,
of,
now that you can't really write a letter, so to speak, you used to write a letter and tell the buyer or the seller how great their house was, and we're going to raise our family and
Yeah.
our kids, and
Can't do that anymore.
you can't do it. So how do you, if you have a client who's a veteran, how do you get the seller to, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod, my client's a Navy man.
Right.
When you walk in the house and you see that the guy's got military stuff, and you're like, geez, how do I get him to know that my client's a Navy guy when he's, a Marine or something?
So this was interesting. So we walk into the house.
Am I actually somewhere that's,
did I tell you this story?
No,
I did not tell you this.
No.
So we walk into the house in Greece, and that my client put an offer in, and we were just there to see. It had just come up, and I said, hey, I don't know why I didn't see this before. It's a little bit above your price range, but it's only going to make a difference in your payment of only about a couple of bucks. Here's the picture of it. I think we should go see it. So he goes, I know it's kind of last minute. And I said, yeah, and the offers are due like now. They're due now. So we went to see the house at 10 o'clock. The offers were due by noon. He decided to put an offer in, but we're walking into the living room, and in this house are pictures of the family's sons. They're all in the Navy.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And I look at Kenny and I say, oh my God, this is a sign. I said, Kenny, look at the pictures. This is a sign. And sure enough, do you know he got the house? Because the guy saw that he was a veteran and said, I'm going to go with the Navy vet.
So the VA mortgage helped you out.
It did. It was the craziest thing. I called him up and I'm like, oh my God, we got the house. The guy, saw your, your Navy, where you went through your Navy application through the VA loan company, and decided that you were the guy.
There you go. It's meant to be.
There's best story. Yeah. So it's, I was really excited about it. And I told Kenny didn't remember me saying that to him until I reminded him of when we pointed at the picture and said, this is a sign. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's off, with his
Which is why, as the listing agent, you tell your homeowners to take the damn pictures down. Because honestly, though, isn't that great? I know, Joy. It gave me goosebumps when the agent called and said we got it, specifically because Kenny was a vet, which made everything that happened prior with the other real estate agent. It kind of made that whole, bad thing into a good thing. And I think sometimes things happen for a reason. It's not discrimination.
Okay. We'll have to agree.
It's not discrimination.
To disagree.
Being a veteran is not a protective class.
It is in my book. So, but anyway, so if you're out there and you're thinking about buying or selling your home, and you've been kind of hem-hawing around, or just give us a call here at Revere Realty. You can shoot me an email.
Absolutely.
kgoodman@revererealty.com. K Goodman.
Get in line. Everybody's hiring her.
At Revere Realty. Yeah. And to my other clients that are waiting on, we'll find that house.
Right.
I promise. So for some reason, your house is out there waiting, and we will find you your perfect house. It's got to be
a double wide Holly for everybody, Kimberly.
Yes, exactly. I just got a call the other night from some people that are looking in the Cal-Mum area, maybe Bergen. They want a little space to kind of move.
Sure.
So, and they're first time buyers.
A lot of radon down there. So be careful when you go through the radon testing programs.
Ew, good to know.
Yeah.
Did not know that. All right. So, Buoy is the name of the show. And by the way, please support our sponsors, Taylor Heating and Plumbing. If you're having furnace issues, you do not want to get into mid-January with another 11-degree night and have your furnace not working, please call our friends at Taylor Heating and Plumbing, Taylor 500 Help. Precision Lawn and Garden. If you didn't hire someone to do your driveway, you're going to need a snowblower. So go see my friends Justin and Kimberly at Precision Lawn and Garden. And then, of course, if you haven't hired your snow service yet, please call our friend Brian at Express Sealers at 645-2010, and he will come out and set up a contract to do your business or your home residential plowing on the east side only with Express Sealers.
Does it seem like it's snowing everywhere else in the country besides here? What the hell's going on?
Did you see Washington, D.C., where they all got stuck on the highway?
Have you seen like the Rocky
Crazy.
Mountains, the passes through the mountains where there's like 20 feet of snow?
That's why you don't want to go through one on a stagecoach.
You're not
Just gonna
seeing
tell
that
you.
on the mainstream media, are you? That the drought in California is going to be over?
No.
I mean, look at the snowpack they have in the mountains.
I'm telling you.
They're not telling us that.
Are you watching 1883?
What is 1883?
Oh my God. Austin, are you watching 1883? Do I have the right number of the years? I think
What is that?
It's
The Industrial Revolution?
it's the prequel to Yellowstone. I don't know about you guys, all of our patriots out there, and God bless our ancestors who went cross country.
What year did Doc go from 1985 to
Oh,
the 1885?
I didn't watch
That was
it.
1885.
That was stupid. That was a stupid Back to the Future.
Marty had to go back and get them.
So this is a prequel to Yellowstone. And these people are in a covered wagon trying to get from one point to another point before heavy winter sets in. And we know what happened to the Donner family, the Donner party. That wasn't pretty. They ate each other.
Yeah.
And had no wine to go along with it. but I'm fascinated by 1883. I'm really getting into Yellowstone right now. I am watching Mayor of Kingstown, with Jeremy Renner, which is fabulous. You have to
All right.
kind of binge watch those shows. Have you heard of them?
I have. Yeah. I haven't gotten into that yet. I just finished all the Marvel movies.
Oh, you're one of those. Okay. Maybe you're
if you
unemployed.
if you had a time machine, Kimberlina, that's where you're going.
No. I'm going nowhere on a covered wagon. It takes them a day to go 20
I was
miles.
going to say the West
I
Side
don't think so.
Princess doesn't live in a covered wagon, right?
No, I don't think that's not working out for me very well. I do understand from my mother that several of my relatives, my great grandparents, might even stick another
Pappy?
great on. They actually
Pappy Ray.
came from the east in a covered wagon to Missouri and Illinois, where they settled. But if you have nothing else better to do because you're unemployed, as a record 4.5 million Americans were unemployed, quit their jobs in November, maybe because you just want to binge watch shows. And I understand that. I get it. It's a lot of good stuff. 4.5 million Americans said sayonara to their jobs in November, even more so than we had quit their jobs in October. So the Labor Department reported that all those people, I don't know where they went. I don't know where 4.5 million Americans went who quit their job. Did they retire? Are they just taking a year to live their lives?
TikTok and OnlyFans.
I don't. How are you making a living? I mean, I'd like to know.
Yes, they can.
I'd like to know, but of course they quit their jobs just like they quit their jobs in October in the restaurant industry, in the hotel industry. So those were some of the highest evacuations from the job market. So and of course, right now we don't have enough pilots. I mean, thankfully, this wasn't a year that I was flying around trying to get from point A to point B, but they're calling this year the Flightmare Christmas and New Year's, because people weren't able to get where they were going. They weren't able to get back home from where they'd been because of staffing and pilot shortages, because of this stupid mandate and regulations they have when it comes to COVID. And of course, the CDC kind of changed everything around and said, oh, you know what? You don't have to quarantine as long anymore. 5 days, you can go back if you don't have any symptoms. But the question was, well, I mean, define symptoms, because with COVID, there's a whole range of symptoms, right? Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're not feeling tired and you're not sniffy, then you can, okay. Sometimes you get sick and that cough or the runny nose hangs on for 3 weeks.
Yeah, now we're testing people that aren't sick. We're testing everybody.
I'm not getting tested for anything. I mean, if I get sick, I'm not testing.
I guess the pilots union is not as strong as the air traffic controllers union, because they tried that with them and they said, okay, we'll just all quit.
I mean,
and they said, oh, it's okay. You don't need to be vaccinated. Don't worry about it, Mr. Air Traffic Controller.
Holiday flight cancellations hit a peak with thousands and thousands and thousands of flights called off because of COVID. I mean, it's just unprecedented. the amount of economic damage that politics
Yeah.
and a simple virus
It's at
have
this point.
caused.
Is at this point that we can all agree that they can't stop this thing.
You can't stop it.
It's going to keep mutating.
Because
you can have as many boosters as you want.
Yep.
You're going to get it no matter what. You got to hope that it's a mild case and that you have your own natural antibodies. That will get you through.
I think here's what people don't
Everybody's
understand.
going to have to get this.
Germs are our friends. Germs provide a way for our body to build up immunity to such things as coronavirus or the flu or the common cold. And some variants are going to hit you harder from one year. I mean, I've had colds and respiratory, situations, infections that have leveled me in years past. But some years it's very mild. I'll just get a sniffle. Some years I won't get anything at all. And then some years I'll be leveled. That's what happens because each variant hits all of us different.
Right. Well, getting the alpha, that's what I'm calling it now, the alpha.
There's a new variant, right?
Right. So when I
variant.
had the alpha a year ago, it was probably the worst I've ever been sick in my life, but.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
You didn't look bad to me.
Well, that's because I look good.
But yeah, on December 27th, the CDC has reduced the required isolation.
What a joke.
For people who tested positive for COVID but weren't showing any symptoms. And according to the CDC, they say within 5 days, you can get back to work if you're not showing any more symptoms or showing any symptoms at all. I
guess they shouldn't have fired all those other people.
Can I just say the whole thing is so convoluted. You don't know whether you're up, down, coming, going, backwards, forwards. We have no idea. I was out at Eastview Mall. Ontario County said that they weren't going to enforce the mask mandate. Am I correct?
Correct.
It was one of the counties, I think Orleans, Livingston. They weren't going to.
The mandate still exists. It's whether or not
Ontario County was not going to
whether
follow
or not the sheriff's coming to get you.
The mandate rules.
Right.
So I'm taking back a couple of things that I got for Christmas.
Shocker.
That's what I do. And so we're out there and I want to go through Pottery Barn because now that I put all the Christmas decorations away, my house looks rather bare. And I need new decorations because I haven't really got anything new in the past 6 or 7 years.
I hate knickknacks.
Don't you just get sick of the same old knickknacks?
Just throw out the crap.
I know. So that is not true. Betty White did not get a booster. I do not believe that is true.
Her agent said that wasn't true.
And listen, you guys know that if there's something, I'm like a dog with a bone. Betty White died not because she got a booster on whatever day it was. I don't know that she got a booster at all.
She was 100.
I don't think that's a true statement. To honest, and you guys know, if I thought it was a true statement, I'd say so. I do not believe that. I think that is something that was made up in Twitterland. She did not get a booster. Even if she did, Betty White was freaking 99 years old.
Right.
Betty White did not die because she got a 1 COVID booster or 2 got COVID. Betty White died because she was 99. All right. Can we agree on that? So I mean,
100%.
I have heard the story. I do not believe that it is true. I do believe that it's a fabricated story. And quite frankly,
you never know, though. We'll see if it comes out later.
Anything past 90, you guys, is a gift. Anything past 80, really. I mean, if you think about it, you go back to 1883 days. If you made it past 40, you were freaking lucky. You were like an old timer at 40. Have you seen?
You stepped on a nail, you died.
Yes. You step on a nail, you get an infection, you died.
Cut the foot off.
Crazy, right? I mean, a little perspective, please, with Betty White. She was 99.
Yeah.
All right. Can we just say that? But I mean, I really don't. So I'm walking into Eastview Mall, into Pottery Barn. And I'm taking
my biggest nightmare.
I tell my husband, I'm going to take a picture of, they have beautifully decorated tables. I'm not buying that crap because it's way too expensive. I can't afford to buy Pottery Barn stuff. So what I do is
better than Wilson's. What is it? Sonoma?
Williams Sonoma.
Oh my God. They're unbelievable.
I love that too. So I take pictures of the very fancy tables. And then I go to places like, I don't know, the dollar
Target.
store, Target, whatever. Target's not cheap either. And I go to the dollar store or Family Dollar and I try to recreate the beauty, which I did pretty well at Christmas. That's what I did. I took pictures of stuff in Pottery Barn or Kirkland's. And then I kind of did my own thing with Family Dollar and Dollar General stuff. So this lady says, "You can't stay in here, ma'am, without a mask." I said, "Okay, thank you very much." And I continued walking around shopping. "Ma'am, did you hear me? You cannot stay in this store if you do not have a mask on." And I'm like, "Okay, calm down. I'm just going to go back here and take a picture of this table." So doesn't Mr. Hitler Youth come up to me and say, "I'm going to have to escort you out of the store if you don't put a mask on"? I said, "Yeah, I've taken my pictures. I'm not buying anything. I'm just taking the pictures so I can produce this better on my own." And he like sniffed like he was so much better than me. So we walk into Lulu because I had to take my husband got me a pair of Lulu leggings that I already had.
I'm going to attempt to understand what Lulu is.
You know,
but
it's the Lululemon store. It's a tight store.
Oh,
It's you
yeah,
know
I
what
don't
it is.
know.
You have daughter. You have a daughter
do
and
they
a
have
wife.
golf? Do they have golf clubs in there?
No.
Okay.
But they do have men's stuff that I
They
got
do?
I got my husband Lululemon sweats.
Oh boy.
It went over about as well as getting him Ugg slippers one year, but nonetheless.
Well, those are comfy though.
Patty says they must have known who you are because they never bother me in Pottery Barn. I will say, Patty, that before Christmas, like the Thursday before Christmas, we were out at Pottery Barn at Eastview Mall, and my daughter and I both walked in there. We were not wearing a mask. They did not say anything. Sunday or Saturday when we walked in, they were open on New Year's Day, by the way. We walked in and they were all over us with the masks. I
guess
walked
it
in.
depends who's working that day.
It could be. So we walked into Lulu, same thing. One of the clerks says, "Can you please put on a mask?" And I said, "I'm just here to exchange stuff. Thank you very much. Will you please put on a mask?" I said, "I appreciate you. Thank you very much. But no, thank you. I'm just here to exchange." And I mean, you stay very calm and you just say, "Thank you. I appreciate you, but no, thank you. I'm just here to whatever." And if they say they have to escort you out of the store, then so be it. But I will make it known that I will never come back in there and I will never spend my money again. Because as an American, I shouldn't be required to wear a mask on my face for a cold.
Can't you just sit on the floor and tell them you're seated?
Right?
I don't know. Apparently, when you sit out, there's no COVID.
So, so there we
just
go.
tell them, well, I'll sit on the floor, and because I'm seated, you'll be able to wait on me.
Right. So I just anyway.
And then you pull a drink out of your purse and say, I'm here
Like,
for cocktails.
This is where we are. And what people don't understand is we need to build up immunity. In fact, masks are actually not helpful at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you go around wearing a mask all the time, and chances are whatever you get later is going to hit you worse.
Science is prolonging this whole thing.
Because you need to build up an immunity to viruses. And that's why we need to breathe in germs. It's been that way since the beginning of time. I'm not a scientist. It doesn't take one to get it, right? And the thing with social media shutting down everything that has to do with a conversation about it is really kind of ridiculous. We're being censored. We're not able to speak out about it. If they do, you get attacked. I think I saw where Chad walked into Dunkin' Donuts over here.
I did see that. Yeah.
Was that on East Ridge Road?
Yeah, but that doesn't count. This is Chad.
Chad walks in to get coffee and they tell him
he's Mr. Magnet.
They tell him to get the F out of Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell him that every day.
To get the F out of Dunkin' Donuts?
No.
I mean, what are we coming to when we're telling fellow Americans,
customers, yeah.
Customers,
Mhm.
get out of our stores?
Yeah.
Do you know what you're really saying?
I don't think that's good business practice, but that's just me.
If masks did anything, COVID would have been in our rearview mirror 18 months ago. Absolutely.
Hey, you guys,
100%.
You guys
Glenn.
can all sit at home.
Glenn, that's right.
You can all sit at home and watch Kimberly's Revolution mask free. We're good with it.
You can.
And if you want to put a mask on by yourself in your living room and still watch the show, we're good with that too.
Can I just say that Kathy Hochul said something today that
Who?
actually made sense? Our governor, she was on Jeopardy. there was the What is Kathy Hochul was an answer on Jeopardy.
Does that
and
mean you've made it in life when
none
you're
of-
an answer on Jeopardy?
Not if any of the contestants don't know who you are, including the guy from Brooklyn
He didn't know.
who didn't know who Kathy Hochul was. And she was one of the answers. It was last
Well,
week,
didn't
I
he
think.
know she's one step from God?
She actually said something. She has made an adjustment to how hospitals report patient intake by distinguishing between
Yeah.
hospitalizations with COVID or because of COVID, which should have been done 18 months ago.
Yeah, that's the new
but was
thing.
never. But the new thing is, so someone can get in a car wreck, go into the emergency room, they'll test you for COVID, and they'll say in the emergency room that you have COVID, so you're written down as
and
COVID.
you're in the ICU.
When you weren't really there because of COVID, you're there because you were in a freaking car wreck and you broke your neck. You just happen to have COVID.
Right.
And by the way, there was this one guy, and I forget what state it was in. He took one of the COVID tests and he put it under water. Did you hear that story?
I did hear that. Yeah.
And the water tested positive for COVID.
I heard another story that I was breezing through where somebody was planning on going on a trip. And so they made an appointment to go get tested. And the trip fell through and he didn't go. So he just never bothered to cancel his appointment. And like 3 days later, he got an email saying that he's tested positive for COVID. And he never went and got tested. And apparently these clinics are doing that to get up their rates.
Wow.
When somebody doesn't show up, they just write it off that you have COVID. They don't cancel the appointments.
I mean, that's, the way this is being done. It's
I think it was in Canada though. So, that's a whole different world.
Yeah, that's the Canadians for you.
Yeah.
No, but the hospitals now in New York must clarify if patients with the virus came to the hospital
it's about time.
because of COVID. Why did it take till now to figure that out? Because we've said it all along. We know that General Colin Powell did not die because of COVID.
Right.
He had COVID when he was in the hospital, but he had cancer. He had underlying issues. And we said it at the time on our podcast on Kimberly's Revolution. We said General Colin Powell did not die because of COVID. He died, 1, because of old age, and 2, he had comorbidity. He had something else wrong with him. He just happened to test positive for COVID. But it's about time that we started making that, distinguishment between why you're in the hospital, because they're just lumping everything together. And it's a false narrative. It's a false narrative all day long about the coronavirus. Right.
So are we going to get to our former governor somewhere in the stack?
You read my mind. Oh, Buoy.
I knew we were going to get to him.
Oh boy. It's good to be Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
And I say this because it's good. There he is. He's so mad.
Oh, I miss him.
Do you miss him?
Yeah.
What did I say? The devil
He's
better than the one you don't.
He'd be a good uncle. What the heck?
Yeah. So he must know people who know people in high places. Because I'm just going to tell you, kids, don't try this at home. Albany County District Attorney has announced that his office will not prosecute former Governor Andy on the groping allegations.
Shocker. Who saw that coming?
We did. According to the Albany County DA, the decision has made to discontinue criminal prosecution because they didn't find that there was any way
they could prove it.
They said, while many have an opinion.
I thought the Me Too movement, I thought you're supposed to believe them. Everybody was right.
It all depends on who you are. Who you know and who you blow.
Yeah.
Literally.
Kavanaugh, that doesn't fly with Kavanaugh, right? He was guilty.
Of course not. So they say that the pursuing criminal prosecution is beyond the scope of a district attorney's jurisdiction.
Well, it probably is, right? I mean, let's face it, it probably is. They wanted him out. They got him out. Now that he's out.
They're not going to prosecute him. They got what they wanted. They absolutely did.
100%.
And that's not the only charge, prosecutable offense that they're getting rid of.
Oh, there's another one.
There's another.
Oh.
You remember that whole nursing home saga, right?
Yeah.
The new Manhattan DA has dropped the investigation into Andrew Cuomo over the allegations that he mishandled nursing homes during the initial coronavirus outbreak. The ex-governor's lawyer said they issued a statement from the attorney, Elkin Abramowitz. Says that they will not be pursuing allegations of misconduct. You might remember he faced criticism back March 25th of 2020 when his directive given to the health department that ordered infected patients discharged from hospital back into the nursing home, which all that did was infect other nursing home patients with the COVID. So they have figured out that he's not going to be in any trouble over anything. They took half of his book money away and that's it.
He's going to get 200,000 a speech, wherever he's going to go. He'll be fine. I think King Andy will be fine.
So they say I
don't think we have to worry about him.
The feds are still looking into it, but the new Manhattan district attorney is dropping all investigation into Andrew Cuomo on how he mishandled the nursing home situation. All across the state of New York, really. I mean, it was the same thing. Any of the elderly patients who were sick and in the hospital and had tested for COVID were sent back into the nursing homes. And then they locked everyone down and you couldn't go see, grandma and grandpa. You couldn't see them for months. Families couldn't see their mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers.
Well, that'll be the interesting
for months
part.
And months.
I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV. Although there is one downstairs, but doesn't this kind of open up all the civil suits now that individual families are going to have to come up with against him?
Good luck with that. I mean, it's awful hard to win a civil.
We'll see how that goes.
It's hard to win a civil case, and of course,
people are going to try.
They're going to try, but it's hard when you can't prove he did anything criminal, especially when he's been cleared on all criminal charges, right? And the DA, the new DA, Alvin Bragg, has declined comment. So he says, hey, we're not going to prosecute and I'm declining comment. And that's all there is to that. See, they all came together and agreed. If you leave, we'll find one way or another down the line, a couple of weeks when everything kind of settles, we'll make the announcement that we're not going to prosecute you. We're not going to prosecute you for fondling people, women in your office, and we're not going to prosecute you for killing grandma and grandpa. So just, hold yourself together until then, and it will all work out in your favor, Mr. Cuomo. And of course, it is all worked out in the favor of Mr. Cuomo.
Well, unfortunately for Andrew, he was the last one to realize that he needed to go. And because he was the last one to know that, he wasn't, he didn't get the memo and the email, hey, so he was the last one to know. So they had to go a different way to get rid of him.
Yeah. Do we understand that, speaking of Albany, you think he's still in Albany? No, he lives in New York City, right?
Cabo.
Yeah. Cabo. Is there a caravan to Albany?
I hear
5th?
There is tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? What's today?
I think
Today's
it's tomorrow.
Oh my God.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Are you going?
On Wednesday? No, I'm here tomorrow at 4:00 for Kimberly's Revolution.
Well, we could go and come back
on the We the People podcast.
I'm not driving
network.
though.
What time is the?
I have no idea.
What are they going to do? Are they going to storm the Capitol building in Albany?
I don't know.
What's everyone going down there for?
Nerf guns.
Is Chad going?
I doubt it. Doesn't seem like his style.
He went to Washington, D.C. on the 6th.
I know, but there's no, I don't.
Was that an anomaly? Just kind of
I don't know.
I'm asking.
You're asking for a friend?
I
don't know. People are going to go, God bless them. Do what you think is right.
So Thursday is the anniversary of the insurrection.
It is,
as they call that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, there he is. There he is. There's the one of the insurrect. That's a picture that we will never forget, right?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills fan. Wasn't he on the 50-yard line next to Elvis?
Speaking of football, so I know a lot of people make a comparison from football players who basically grew up in trauma. I don't know what background. Not
CTE
not every football player grew up in poverty. Not every football player suffers the brain damage that CTE is. Every football player that makes it to the NFL has their own story. I think we've all seen The Blind Side. Not every football player story is that, right?
That's why they made a movie out of it.
I'm not exactly sure what the story is on Antonio Brown, but I think we all knew that the crazy surfaced a long time ago, and he was kind of enabled by the NFL, wouldn't you say? Do you know the history of this guy?
Yeah, pretty well over the years with Pittsburgh and then out to the Raiders and multiple times. In the locker room, I think he was just disrespectful to the coaches and
Other
he was always
players
on
and-
his phone and
right.
he was, making posts and different things about other people. Just very disrespectful person.
So
He's
year,
entitled. He's never been told no in his life, and
Right.
he's an entitled individual.
and I don't know what Antonio
Extremely
Brown's
talented.
A lot of the obviously a lot of these
Extremely
guys are
talented.
extremely
Right.
talented, and I don't know Antonio Brown's backstory, and I don't know his childhood story.
I don't either.
And I can't speak to his mental well-being, but I think you can look at his actions over the past couple of years and say, okay, something's not right. And I think the only reason he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer was one, because he's seriously talented if he wants to be, but that's a big want.
Tom Brady liked him.
And Tom Brady liked him. And Tom
he's
Brady,
a good football player.
Tom Brady took responsibility for him
Right.
and said, hey, listen, I'll make sure that this guy, does what he's supposed to do. But at some point in time, you can't take responsibility for people like that because they implode. They kind of, do damage to themselves and everything's going too good. So we've got to find a way to F it up. There are those people in life.
It's an addictive personality. It's all one way or all another way.
Right. So, and Antonio Brown is in the game.
He's in shape, by the way.
He's got some abs,
You
doesn't he? I don't know. Do you think he's doing planks to get that washboard?
I don't know. Look pretty.
The washboard abs. Wow.
Yeah, he was in shape.
I can't do a plank for longer than a minute. Kills me. But I got the mirror for Christmas.
I heard.
Can anyone tell me why it buffers constant? Oh, it's going to go back if I can't.
You got to upgrade your Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi is fine, and it's not that far from where the damn mirror is. But anyway, so Antonio Brown is playing on Sunday, and he decides, and I don't know what the story is. I've heard so many versions that the coach wanted him to go in, but he didn't, or that he wanted to go in, and the coach didn't put him in when he wanted to go in. But anyway, nonetheless, he takes off his gear on the side of the football field. He takes off all the gear. He's shirtless. He's waving. He's giving the peace sign to the crowd. And Antonio Brown asked on the way out of the stadium, one of the state police, hey, can you give me a ride? And he says, no. So what happens is he's picked up by some random dude, right?
Right.
Just a random guy that gives him a ride. Do we have that video? I think we have the video.
Go viral out here is nothing short but viral. Hey, Bizzle, talk to him, Cheech. Come on, baby.
Man, listen, this is gonna make my nephew.
You know what time it is.
Anyway, so that's the driver. That's the.
I wonder how much he tipped him.
When my brother called me, I'm there. I'm coming. So basically, he called this guy. The guy came to pick him up. There's Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown was last night at the.
He was at the basketball game.
He was at
I
the
think
basketball game.
The Nets game.
Yeah, the Nets Grizzlies game.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not? He's retired. He's on vacation in New York City.
But I don't think that any of us can say that he's.
I think he's made enough money. It'll be interesting to see if he makes the Hall of Fame. He definitely has Hall of Fame talent. He's got the stats. So we'll see what happens. He was the best receiver in football for like 5-6 years. I mean, what
happened? Mental illness, obviously.
No,
or does he just want to do?
I'm not one to say somebody that talented that you're a victim. He just wanted to do shit his own way and didn't want to listen to other people.
Yeah,
felt he could do anything he wanted.
Yeah. So there's Antonio Brown, who, by the way, is no longer a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Love watching him play. He was a hell of a football player.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise any of us. One last story before we get out of here, and I want to say it because there is a new chief in town. There's a new mayor here in Rochester, New York. And of course, he had to talk to the family. So we ended.
How many did we get?
We ended 2021 with 81
81
homicides. in the city of Rochester, more than any homicide rate in the last 40 years.
Probably
And
more than other countries.
more than, I mean, if you look at the population and do the statistics, we have a higher homicide rate than, you know, a lot of big cities. But this isn't just a situation that is a Rochester problem alone.
No.
It's a problem that is all over the country in every major big city. This is not an anomaly. This is something that happened because of the defunding of police departments and the way that the democratic system deals with criminals. They don't see any need to lock them up. They wanted bail reform and they got all those things. And now you have homicide rates that have skyrocketed in every major democratic city and even non-democratic cities across the nation. I mean, Rochester isn't on its own on an island with the homicide rate. This has happened all over the country. Our first homicide of 2022
So sad. Terrific.
happened on Sunday night. And there's the kid, 14 years old. He was shot to death on North Street at Herald, which is a challenged part of the city. I mean, it's one, you know, it's
The old Polish section.
is it the old Polish section of the
Mhm.
city? So every city has a challenged part of the city. You look at that area, like in a mile square footage area of
There
Chicago.
are worse sections than that.
Worse sections than North and Herald, but it is not a great section of the city.
You shouldn't be shot anywhere.
He was shot in the back.
Yeah.
Shot in the back at 6 o'clock, walking into a mini
Going to
mart
get to some groceries.
to buy noodles for whatever the family was having for dinner that night.
Yeah. Sad.
And that's how we start 2022. But is
14?
14.
He's tall.
I think sometimes pictures are deceiving on how, how tall. I don't know how tall the kid is. They do believe that it was most probably a mistaken identity situation. They thought he was someone else. We don't know. We haven't found out the entire story. I know the kid's last name is Greer. I think it's Greer Jr. He's a junior, but no one is going to know this kid's name next
sad.
month.
Pray for their families.
And so prayers aren't going to help.
I know, but it's all you can do.
You can pray all you want every single day. It's not going to stop the gun violence on the city
I just
streets.
feel for the kid's father.
In every major city, you have situations like that. Sometimes even younger, where kids just happen to be in the way, 3 and 4 years old. But here
we aren't supposed to bury our children.
What do you want to bet that the person who shot him had been in trouble before and had been let out?
Probably.
Had been no bail, just let out to run the street. And eventually these people are going to kill other people, but we don't worry about that. We question whether or not you have a mask on in Pottery Barn, but we don't really do anything about the murders on City Street where there actually blood in the streets. But that apparently prayers for the family.
Do a good job, Malik. We need it.
I mean, he even said in his speech, I have to talk to the mother and father about their 14-year-old kid who just ran down to the corner store or a bodega or whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid winds up dead. It's a sad state of affairs. But we're not focused. I think I saw the news on Sunday night, or maybe it was a Monday. It was Monday. It was yesterday. Was that the number one story? No, they did 10 minutes of COVID stories. They gave about a minute to this kid who was 14 years old in the first homicide of the city. It's wrong in all kinds of ways.
Absolutely, it's wrong.
All right, that is going to do it for Kimberly's Revolution. Just Tom, do you have anything you want to add from today's show?
I could do a couple quick ones, hitters.
Do a quick fun one.
Did you hear about the twins that were born?
Yes.
Could you imagine that?
Yes. So tell everyone
fraternal twins were born. I forget what city or where they were.
Mm-hmm.
But they were born 15 minutes apart.
Yeah.
And one was born December 31st.
Oh boy.
2021,
Of
and
course.
the other one was born January 1st, 2022.
Twins.
Alan and Alfredo Trujillo.
Yeah, they are twins. One was born in 1 year, and you always have those every day. One was born in 1 year,
Right.
and one was born in the other year. Yeah,
And
that's kind of a
I
cool
got
thing, though.
two other quick things.
Okay, we love
It
babies.
snowed in Southtown. Did you see that? The snow miser must have got something from the heat miser. It snowed in Florida.
What? Where did it snow in Florida?
And on the Panhandle, they got snow.
I did not see that.
Yeah, it's
That's funny.
It snowed in Southtown. It happens about every 4 or 5 years.
I have friends that just moved down there.
Okay.
They have to be happy
And
about that.
lastly, what do
I
you
think
think
that's funny.
is the number one animal in the world that's able to consume alcohol the best?
Animal?
Like
Like mammal.
a mammal that can consume alcohol with the least restrictions to it.
The Kimberly?
No, because I've seen you and you don't handle that very well.
I do too.
Most people would think it's like a big animal, like a walrus or an elephant or a giraffe or
I
something.
don't know. Maybe
right?
a monkey. I don't know.
Hamsters.
What?
Yeah.
Who's-
Apparently,
Can I say something to you? Who's
Hamsters.
giving a hamster booze?
the
who's
University of
giving a
Alaska. The University of Alaska. We have like all this COVID stuff. Why aren't we doing studies on all this stuff?
Are
We're
we
testing hamsters.
Are we paying people to get
We
hamsters
are.
drunk?
We are.
Okay.
Well, anyways, the
That's
equivalent.
education well spent.
The equivalent of what a hamster can do compared to humans, if we put it in humans terms, a hamster can drink over 3 pints of 190 proof alcohol.
So can I.
You'd be dead. Could
So
you
can I.
imagine
You
drinking?
didn't see me Christmas Day.
Could you imagine drinking 3 pints of pure alcohol?
No, I couldn't. You'd be
A
dead.
hamster can.
You'd be dead. I don't believe that. Please, okay, and then let me just make this statement. Don't anyone test that out. Please don't kill
No.
your hamster with you because you know stupid
Ha-
people are going to do that.
Hamsters can
Don't
drink.
Don't play that game.
Load them up.
No, don't do that. All right. That is going to do it for Kimberly's Revolution. We will be back tomorrow at 4:00. Kimberly's Revolution, We the People Podcast Network.com. Of course, we will be here with Chad will be with us. Who do we have coming up later on tonight? Do we have
Chad
on Kimberly-
was told me earlier that he might delay his show,
Okay.
but we don't know yet. So
we don't know what the lineup for today is.
this might be it, folks.
Okay.
Blah 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 blah. That's all, folks.
Okay, that's going to do it for the We the People Podcast
That was a really
Network.com.
bad-
We will be here at 4:00 tomorrow. I am Kimberly's Revolution with Just Tom. And of course, Austin. We will see you on Hump Day. It's going to do it for us.
God bless. Be kind to others.
The basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.